We are rolling apparently, so let's get this
Oh,
started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Happy Hour. Drinks are, of course, at a cheaper price tonight, but where are we, you might be saying? Well, we're at the Highlander, and we've got a very special guest, someone who has been on before when we were over at the Club Krakowitz with Michael Rothschild. Well, we are now with the British Union in the Highlander. TBU, how are you?
hi Dean. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. Well, I'm going to be saying the word well a lot because that is just part of the catchphrase now. Um, and I imagine the crowd are going wild that we've got an authentic Scotsman on tonight, although we'll potentially be putting that authenticity to the test later. Ooh,
Oh
game hint.
dear. Oh
But
God.
I
Oh
know,
no.
oh mate, you're shaking in your boots, I bet. But
Yeah.
don't get too shaky because you've not had anything to drink yet. And speaking of actually, DPU, what will you be having this evening from the bar?
Cowpole.
Yeah, having some cowbell.
I'll have some cowpole to be honest with you, Dean.
Honestly, fair enough. For this broadcast, I was gonna try and get a bottle of things called like Fisley Cross or whatever. It's the like Scottish
Oh
cider.
yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Yeah, I
Yes,
heard of that.
I've had that with like my brother before, but I didn't get any for this. I'm just having
Oh
Compton
dear.
cider. That's all we're having on my
Oh,
end
that fair
of
enough.
the bar.
Fair enough.
It'll do. It's cheap, but it gets the job done. So with drinks sorted, let's get straight into the meat of it. TBU. How long you been in the community for?
Oh, that's a 4 years in March. Well, in March. So I've been here for 4 years and oh fuck. Oh sorry.
You're allowed to swear, don't
3 months?
worry.
Oh, am I? Good. Okay. It's 4 years and 3 months or something.
4 years, 3 months. I mean, before obviously we began recording this, I mentioned there's 4 years ago that I did Dean's Pub Conversations, which is very similar to Happy Hour. It's like it's Happy Hour before Happy Hour. And
Yes.
that was that was just over 4 years ago. That was back in January of 2021. And seeing as we're going back that far, let's talk about your first moments in the community, your first time in this
Okay.
community. So when you got here, what did you first start as? Did you immediately go into politics?
Yeah. I'm going to be fully honest with you. I went straight into politics. It's what I know. It's what I do. It's what I enjoy. Um, so I joined the Tory party because purely because of the name and the brand. I just went, oh, okay, well, that must be my people there. So I joined the Tory party and I joined Westbridge and campaigned like a little sweat and did a lot of DM campaigning as well. And I was lucky enough to be selected for a seat. I can't remember what seat it was. Maybe it was North Yorkshire or something. I don't know.
A
But yeah,
non-Scottish seat? That's unbelievable.
I didn't get a Scottish seat until about term 70 or something. I can't remember. I had Edinburgh once. That was for like one term, but I didn't get it. I've never had it since. It really annoyed
Oh
me.
wow.
I
I mean,
know.
that's unbelievable. I mean,
Hey,
again, you're talking a bit there about your first time in politics. Who was your first party leader? Because you immediately went into the. Did you go into the Conservatives immediately?
yeah, yeah. So, my first leader was Benny Boy. So, my first term was him as official opposition leader to the Liberal Democrats. Yeah. Then my second term was actually when you were Deputy Prime Minister, Dean.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
coalition.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, the coalition. So that was my second term.
Oh wow. I remember that
I
coalition
know, it
so
takes you back.
fondly. That was like the best coalition I ever.
Oh, it
And
was
I'm not just
good.
saying that because I was in it, but it was just I got along with Beanie so well. Like we
The
were just
vibes were really good.
made for each
You know what I
other.
mean? It was really a good
Yeah.
coalition. We had like regular like game nights and whatnot, like bingo or what else did we do? I can't even remember. But it was really fun.
There was that. I think there was that like shooting at the Russian roulette game or
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
There
what's
was
that?
that
Breaking
one.
Point.
Breaking Point. Yes, that game. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I remember those. The thing is, though, it's like it's kind of weird to think a lot of the people I worked with back then are just gone now,
Oh
either for
yeah.
better or for worse.
I mean, you'll have obviously longer experience people being gone, but even I'm feeling that now. Like everyone you once knew is kind of, or then maybe they're here, but then they're not here at the same time. They're a bit like touch and go. So
Hmm.
obviously, I mean, as you move on, it's just kind of natural. Folk leave and whatnot. But no, I get what you mean. It's
Hmm.
it's it makes you think, God, what am I doing with my life?
I ask myself that every single bloody day, TBU. Um,
Yeah,
I managed to get away for a bit when I was in exile, but then I came back, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
I know.
Um,
Trust me, I know. I know.
yeah. Anyway, good heavens. Well, we speak a bit about the coalition there, of course. Billy came and went. The reins then passed to Margaret, who you're very familiar with.
I am. Yeah.
You first became leader of the party. I mean, God, I mean, it was way, way later, wasn't it? When did you first become leader of? I mean, was it still the Conservatives by that point? By the time you became
Yeah,
leader?
yes, it was. So I was the Conservative leader from December 2022 till March 2023, my first stint. So Shift just resigned. He was kind of stepping
Mhm.
back, moving into the Lords, and I wanted to punted it, but then Michael also wanted to punted it. Then we sort of made a deal, whereas I would have a go at it. But at the same time, I had other deals with other people, and they overrided with each other, and it was very messy. And my first term is very messy in general, as
You and I
we don't
both.
talk about it much. Yeah, it was messy as hell. So yeah, that was my first stint between December and March.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be absolutely honest. It does seem like the first term for every single prime minister is always a bit messy, unless you've had
It
like an immense amount of cabinet experience beforehand. Like, for example, Eden, who obviously we had on last week, he was a Lord's Prime Minister. He had a distinguished cabinet, including yourself,
is.
backing him up.
Thank you.
He's got he had an amazing team. He had everything basically with him. He had a cabinet of experts, essentially, a ministry of all the talents. One could even say,
Yeah.
all the history boys will get that one. Um, but obviously, for people like me and you, where it's like our first experiences in government are very much after we've been minister like a couple of times sparingly, and then we're pushed into the spotlight. It's difficult, isn't it?
Oh, it is difficult. I mean, because I had to wait about a year to join cabinet from when I became a shadow minister. I was shadow leader of the house for a long time. You remember this, Dean,
Hmm.
very well. It was
Yes, I
kind of the
do.
role. If they needed someone for, so they just shoved me in it, and that would satisfy that position. So my first actual role, though, was the freeway coalition government of Shifor, Reba, and James Aitchison. Oh my God, that's a team and a half. So I was Minister of State for Electoral Reform, and we
Hmm.
were working with like the Royal Commission. That was dead. I tried getting that going, but it was dead as hell. Um, Things like that. Then I moved to leveling up, but then I became Chancellor eventually when Shifor and when the Unionists and the Conservatives merged into the one party and we got into government. I
Hmm.
got Chancellor. So that yeah, as you say, I only had the two ministerial experiences really. One in a really kind of dead department created for a coalition government in one term, or two as Chancellor. As you say, it's like thrown in the deep end.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking a bit about like your experiences as prime minister. What would you say were the main challenges you faced, perhaps? Not necessarily specific to you, but just challenges in general that you had.
I think the challenges you face specifically within this community is that you're friends with a lot of people, and then you have to judge those friendships and relationships you have with getting things done and progressing on as a government. I
Mm.
think I struggle with that a lot because my time here has been I'm genuinely quite open to working with people or being just kind of friendly with other people. You know, that's what I do. Sometimes I can be a bit of an arsehole, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think that was one of the toughest challenges. And I think also a challenge I faced was when ministers, I think, just felt they were guaranteed a position because we were friends and then they didn't have to do any work. That was something I got really annoyed with towards the end. Um, I like these people a lot, but then you didn't see the work happening because they felt, oh, well, it's fine. I don't need to campaign. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. And I think that's a challenge you really need to focus on if you're a leader and with friends. You've got to really make sure your team is actually doing things and you're not the only one sort of doing everything for them.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, I think that's a pitfall I would fall into a lot, where it's just like taking on a lot of the work myself and not giving it to
Yeah.
ministers, because
I think,
it's kind of like a bit of a do-it-all persona of like,
yeah,
if I want something done right, I'm just gonna do
I'll
it
do it myself.
myself.
And,
Um, yeah,
essentially, as you say, I'm sort of that person as well, where it's like, oh, well, I feel I'm the only person that knows how I want it done specifically, so I'll do it. And at the same time, I get annoyed when I'm like given a task out that I do actually want someone to do, and they've not done it, and you're like, oh, well, you've had a week, just can you even have a look at it? But
yeah,
I get what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
And what
like
I will
it's
say,
balancing them.
yeah, what I will say though is talking a bit about like style of premiership and whatnot, like challenges. We've had this conversation before, like this was many months ago, but about like how obviously when I ran Labour, that was very much leader rules all, I call it, which is that I was very much the centre of it, and there was
Mm.
people like Blair and the people who were delegated certain tasks based on their skill set. Blair was the campaign and graphics guy. Dan Neem was the legislation guy. William Marina did a lot of the whipping and stuff. Like, everyone had like a designated task basically, and they all
Yeah,
report to one person. The unionist model, as I'm kind of going to refer to it as, or the Rothschild model, I might as well give it to the family at this point. It's very like it's very much a dynasty over there, isn't it? And obviously, you succeeded Chief, or you yourself are not a Rothschild, but you're sort of part of
no,
that sort of like political grouping, that sort of that group of individuals that have always been associated with the unionist
yeah.
name, wouldn't you say?
No, absolutely. I mean, as you say, it's this sort of, I think we refer to ourselves as this collective in how we manage things. It is sort of like a kind of shadow deep state operation, as you might want to call it, where it's like, oh, there's a few folk who are actually within the inner circles of the Unionist Party and will control how it works. It is sort of like that. I don't know how to the extent how it is these days. It definitely was in my time. As I say, I'm not too involved with the regular kind of day to day of what happens now within the unionists. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The way I kind of styled it was I had my team of like trusted like 6 people, and if I was like contemplating something, if I was thinking this is serious, what do we think about this? I'd have a discussion with them. Do you think this is a good idea? Do we do this? Do we do that? And they would sort of say, okay, this is a terrible idea. What are you thinking? Or, okay, this is good. Let's do this. Let's move on. So I think you can sort of imagine it as, I think they talked about this in the actual coalition government in 2010 of like the quad of like David Cameron, what's his name? Liberal Democrat boy, what's his name? Works for Facebook.
I
Um,
mean, the
and
Nick
Nick
Clegg you're
Clegg.
talking about.
Nick Clegg, George Osborne, and Danny Alexander. It's like that kind of group of 4
Yes.
folk that will run things, talk to each other. It's imagine it's sort of like that, all from the same party, and basically are all friends with each other.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty apt way of putting it. It's like the unionists is a lot more collectivist, ironically. While
Yes. Yeah,
my version of
which is
Labour was
ironic,
very
isn't it?
dictatorial. Yeah, it is quite funny. And obviously, yeah, you had your time as unionist leader, and you of course passed the reins on to Michael, and Michael's gone on to pass the reins to Harold. And I will say this about the unionists, and I am very conscious of the fact that I'm Speaker of the House, and everything I say, even on the BBC, has to be fairly neutral and impartial and whatnot. But the Unionists, it's not a bad thing, by the way, but the Unionists, it's very, I mean, obviously, it's very much a dynasty, it's a hierarchy, there is like that line of succession there. But I guess the comment I was going to make here that I am now slowly forgetting because the dementia is kicking in, um, is that, you know, you've passed those reins on. Do you think that the Unionists have sort of upheld the sort of standards that you held when you were leader back then? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, do you approve of them today?
I don't want to like criticize too much. I think that would just be wrong for me to go in and say, "Oh, well, I think you're doing this and this wrong." And I
It's
think that would
happy
be.
hour. You can do what you want.
I know, I could do that, but it'd be crass of me, and I don't want to do that. I know it's
Fair
boring.
enough.
Um, I think there's things they could improve on. I think obviously there's things I could have improved on when I was leader, right? Let's just be clear about that. I think Harold is the right man. He's a good guy. I've known him for a while. He's done the job pretty well. I think he maybe has the problem I did of where ministers are just not taking the initiative and doing what they need to do to complete the King's speech. I think this is not just within the Unionists though, but within the National Party as well. Um, I've seen a lot of leaders in my time, the Unionists. Harold's a pretty good one. James Aitchison, probably bottom, let's be honest with you. I claim the Tories and the Unionists are the same thing. Um, I've passed the reins on to quite a few folk as well. Ben Henley, like you sit with that one.
Let's not even elaborate on that one.
Then there was Marcus. You can't forget Marcus. He's a man I talk about a lot because funniest guy you've ever met in your life.
I mean, he is like a brother from another mother for you,
Oh,
isn't
he
he,
is.
Marcus Davison?
He is very politically incorrect. However, he's very funny. And then,
You know,
of
it's
course, my
funny you say that because, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marcus. That I'm kidding. We don't actually
if he
have him
came
on
up
here
here
today,
and talked,
sadly.
I would be joyous. I would be genuinely joyous. But
I,
unfortunately, he's too
I do
busy.
apologise, but we sadly cannot get past the wall that is just straight up being banned. I think I don't know. I don't
Oh
think is he
no.
still banned now, or I don't
No,
remember.
no, no, he's unbanned. I actually had to go to Tom
Ah,
directly and get him unbanned, and he did it. So I was very
ah, we
happy.
could have. Damn it! I'm gonna have a go at my fictional producers here for not arranging for Marcus to come on as a special
I've
guest.
tried messaging him. He does not respond to anyone. He's it's unfortunate. He'll occasionally pop up and just say a remark or two. He doesn't like Will Ricktarian, so he calls him a sad loser a lot. It's quite funny.
Oh
Sorry, Will
dear.
Ricktarian. He
My
kind of goes,
goodness. Well,
I'm
I've
sorry.
just remembered what I was going to say regarding the Unionists, yeah, and it's that the Union. The one thing I'm jealous about when it comes to the Unionists, I could never really pin down successorship, if that makes sense. My
Yes, yeah, I get
successor was obviously what's his face, Timothy Cathcart, because
it.
I initially wanted Dan Neem to succeed me, but he dropped out. Timothy took over. Timothy ran the party into the mud. And then I took over again. A certain thing called October 2022 happens. I went into exile. I could never pin down a successor. And even when I was in the Social Democrats briefly, my successor was Martin Baldwin. And let's not even elaborate.
Yeah.
So I could never pin down successorship. That's the one thing I have always failed at. The Unionists, it seems to come naturally for you a lot. That there's always someone who, even if they're not like the most impressive leader, they can still hold down the party for a long enough time that obviously someone else comes around, wins an election big, and
Mm.
all that. Like you've managed to nail down solid successorship over the Unionists for the most part. What's
Yeah.
the secret, TBU? Tell me the secret.
The secret is the Union is deep state. As I say, it's like an octopus if you think about it. They manage. It's like an octopus that has its arms and tentacles everywhere, and it'll just go sort this, manage that, sort this, manage that. We need a new leader. Find someone, put it in. We look out, as you say, the game is longevity. It always has been. That's why we're the longest continuous party since I believe 2020, like without deregistration once. So longevity has always been our game as such. I don't know who Harold has to replace him, to be honest. I think I don't know. I don't want to speak for him. It may be a struggle. I don't know who's around, who's active as such, who might want to take over, because it's not just an easy job of saying, "Oh well, I'll take over." You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
you've got to think about it. Do I have the time for this? Do I, But yeah, it's definitely, as you say, it's came more easiest to find a successful leader. There has been incidents of where that has not gone well. Davis, James Aitchison,
Yeah.
few other names, but yeah, it mostly works out. It mostly works out.
Are you holding back the urge to say Marcus there?
No, no, I do love Marcus. He was thing is with Marcus, he was very good. Like he is politically there. But the one thing he struggled with was, I think it was just the time. I think he's had the time, but then at the same time, it's like when he was dealing with that coalition government with Reba, he was on holiday,
Mhm.
so it wasn't him managing it. It was having to negotiate the deal and whatnot, and everyone was unhappy in the morning. I was like, for God's sake. Um, yeah, no, Marcus was generally good. It was just unfortunate he couldn't hold down his party.
Mhm. I mean that happens to the best of leaders, quite frankly. It
It,
happens.
it, honestly.
I faced one vote in no confidence in my entire time as leader, and I won it by I think it was 22 votes to one. So that was quite good.
There you go. That was good.
Yeah, but we'll move past the unionists now. We've done that to death, although the party is, of course, still going. We're going to talk now about you yourself. We're going to talk about the fact that you're an
Oh,
earl now.
I
You know, in your
am.
4 years in the
Yeah.
community, you're an earl.
I know. Look at that. Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
I mean, you've done a lot to earn it. You've served as prime minister. What is it? 4 times or 5 times? I can't remember.
5 times. Five.
You've done it 5 times. Oh yeah, because you have one. Yeah, you have. You've done. You're the
Yeah,
longest
it's
serving as well. You're the longest
longest
serving,
serving, longest serving
and
elected. I think Cool Dude is like appointed longer, but then it's fine. I was
yeah,
elected.
we don't count that.
We don't count that. We don't count that.
On official records, it doesn't really. We don't count Cool Dude for the obvious reason that elections didn't exist back then. But
They didn't.
you're the longest serving elected prime minister. You've served 5 times as prime minister. I've only done four. So
I mean, it's still a long time. Don't get me wrong. It's still a
yeah,
long
that's still
time.
more than anyone else. And also, I won 4 elections. I think
Exactly. Don't get me
you've
wrong.
won, isn't it? You've won three, but you've served the prime minister 5 times because you succeeded
Because
twice. Didn't
I didn't win the one with when I formed with ZC Investor. I didn't win that
you? Right?
one.
Yeah,
I came second, but we
yeah. I
formed
mean, I
alliance.
won all of mine outright, which
You won
was
all
I'm
of
very
this, yeah.
happy with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but regardless, that's all that is just set up there for the fact that you're an earl. How's that going so far in the House of Lords?
It's great. I mean, I like the title. It's great. It's the title I've always kind of wanted. If I was to like come in and like 4 years ago and say, "Oh, if I was to make," that's the kind of title I'd want. It's crazy to think about because I didn't actually think I'd ever get this far. When you kind of join, you're like, "Oh well, maybe I'll do this a few weeks, see how it goes." But it seems to have went well. I don't kind of understand how long it actually was prime minister for. Does it sound for me? It's like Jesus Christ, what did I do that for? Because it's sort of like in the record, but it's like, oh well, you are the longest serving elected. I'm like, really? No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So it's sort of hard to like comprehend in a way, if you get what I mean.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I bet.
it is, but I'm happy with what I've done. I mean, there's things I could have done better. Don't get me wrong. A lot of things could have done better. A lot of things that went well. My biggest success as Earl is so far is I seemingly have delivered Northern Irish devolution tonight, so I will take that in my stride.
Yeah, actually, that brings me on to the follow up here, which is that you're still like proactive as a lord. Obviously, for
Yeah,
those who
yeah.
don't know, the House of Lords tends to be a retirement home for like old, crusty civil servants and former politicians and what have you. Like it's usually been seen as a retirement home, but there are quite a lot of people in there now, like yourself, where you're still proactively trying to get things improved and get things done. So yeah, the Northern Ireland thing being obviously the latest example, but how is that going as well?
I think I want to be active to help. It's not like as if like I'm self-serving. I'm like, oh, I'm just doing here to make a point of it. I do actually want to help as much as I can. I will say things like, oh, well, I just think Commons aren't doing enough. I don't think they're doing enough. And I don't say this as like, oh, well, I got everything right. I didn't get everything right. But what the Commons need to understand is there is an art to good governance that you actually have to put in the time and effort into getting things done. I think the issues I've had when debating bills with the government in the moment is it's like, well, you don't need legislation to do that. The media bill, for example, you do not need legislation to make this body that Bushbury wants to make, right? You want to like bring local media together. You don't need legislation for that. You can go and do it. And that argument will come out passionately, come out like, well, I really think you're wrong in this. I'm just advising you. This is my point. I'm here to advise. I'm here to help. Governments can actually do things. That's the point I really want to stress. You don't have to do legislation and everything. You can just do it. This is a bit off topic, I understand, but that's my kind of view. My position as a lord is to help. Is to there to maybe to guide, maybe give my opinion on a few things, and hopefully people will agree with that opinion.
Hopefully so. Well,
Hopefully.
we're obviously getting far into the night now. You've had a bit to drink. I've had a bit to drink. So naturally, if you're going to be able to get home this evening, we're going to have to call for a designated driver.
Of
So
course.
anyone from the audience who happens to be here, who you would potentially like to bring on as your designated driver this evening, you can choose. Sadly, we haven't got Marcus for you, but
That's
anyone
fair.
who tickles your fancy, as I'm sure the people from your country say.
um, I don't want to put someone under pressure who maybe doesn't speak. I'll ask Harold because I know he has a microphone. So I'll ask Harold to be the designated driver this evening.
Uh, we will quickly notify Harold and see if he wants to come up. If he does accept, then I'll welcome him up. That's if he has his microphone on with
We
him,
will
and that's if
try.
he'd like to.
We will try. If not, I will spam call Michael. Oh, here we go. Hello.
Well, he's here, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the Prime Minister, Harold
That's an honor.
RH, which I believe also stands for Rothschild Harold Rothschild.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Double Rothschild.
Indeed. That sounds like a drink, a double
It
Rothschild.
does, doesn't it?
That would
I
be an
mean, they do
amazing.
drink though, they're Jewish.
I might make that the new Dean's Inn drink, a double Rothschild device. The ice is shaped to like the Star of David.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, we're going to be serving that up for the designated driver who's not meant to drink. But hello, Harold. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I went out bowling tonight, so
Ooh.
come back
How did that
now.
go?
Look at that.
Can someone please explain to me how the maths works in bowling? Because it makes no sense. Like you do what you get a spare with 10 and 6, or you can get a spare with 10 and 6 again, but you'll get different numbers of points depending on the time you do it. Just crazy.
I have no idea how bowling works. I've only ever
I
done it
played beach
drunk.
bowling a few times. So I don't know. It sort of works.
I went to a party for a friend. I had like pre-drinks beforehand, and I turned up drunk. And it was like they went bowling first, and so I ended up having to use like the child rail thing, like the guides, the bowling ball guide thing. I had to use that. I was surprisingly accurate with that thing,
God.
but when I tried to bowl without it, I nearly fell over several times. It didn't end very well.
I used them in Berlin, and they didn't help. They put
Actually
you off.
used. Oh no, Harold.
Oh dear.
Harold, while we've got you up here and while the show is, of course, all about TBU, I'll ask you a very obvious question that I've asked, I think, each of the designated driver guests that we've had on, which is, what's your fondest memory with TBU? What's the fondest memory you have with him?
TBU. There's a lot.
Let's go for all of them.
Oh dear, I'm gonna have to go back. I think right when I was on Brand the Pandas benches. This is like back, I think either late 2022 or early 2023. I'm on Rand the Pandas benches in like his Labour and Voice party or something, and
Yes.
I DM Marcus, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. How do I leave? And then he's like, defect, defect, defect. And I just run over, and then there's like loads of chaos and celebration nonsense from one side. The other side goes completely quiet, and TBU says something like, "Oh, I welcome him over," and this, that, and the other. That's one thing I remember. That's one thing I remember a lot.
Oh, that's a nice one. I like that one. I like that
That's
one
a
a
very
lot.
good one, actually.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Thank you very much, Harold.
And I've stayed there since. I've not
You
moved.
have. This is true. You have stayed loyal. You've not.
I mean,
went
you're the
back to
father of the house
Vancouver.
now, aren't you, Harold?
Yeah.
Longest
Wow.
serving continuous member of parliament, for those who don't know what the father of the house is. I mean, that is a very, like, I mean, TBU, did you ever have that title at one point, or am
I
I
did.
misremembering? You did?
Yeah, I did. I did have it because I got to preside as father of the house a few times. I also forget I was speaker for a really short time as well.
I forgot to ask a question
The
about
corruption,
that.
the corruption.
There's a lot
In
of
fact, yeah,
corruption.
let's
not
talk
get
about
into
that, shall we, TBU?
it. No, it's not talk. No, no.
It's okay. Like, from corrupt speaker to another corrupt speaker, like, it's okay. I'm with you.
Okay.
Solidarity, brother.
Right, all
Good.
three
I'm,
of
I'm
us
not
on
going
here
down
can
alone.
agree that corruption is fine. So
It's fine.
Yeah. Harold, have you
Yeah,
ever been
it's
speaker
fine.
before?
Me, speaker, I've actually considered doing it at times. It's just I've just not done it. I've been too stuck into politics.
That's entirely fair. I mean, I'm surprised it's taken me this many years to actually get round to doing it, but I'm happy that I have finally gotten around to doing it. So it's been quite an experience so far. I've loved it.
Well, no, a
But
lot of the
anyway,
time it's that. Well, now it's different that you get like your own speaker's seat, but a lot of the time is it puts your side down by one. So for a long time
That's a
we've just
really good
discouraged
change.
anyone from taking it.
yeah.
It's really good change that's done that.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
very happy with the new speaker reselection like rules and stuff. It's very better. I mean, it's the only reason I'm able to run the BBC. It's the only reason we're sat here today. Like, otherwise, I would probably. I mean, let's be honest here. I'd probably go to the BBC anyway. I like, full disclosure, I would pick the BBC any day because I enjoy doing VCing. But yeah,
Great, yeah.
let's hope it never comes to me having to choose between them. But
Let's hope
anyway,
not.
oh yeah.
Let's hope not. I said.
Oh,
Don't
you.
worry.
I
I've just
also
thought of
hope
another.
not.
Right, no,
I
I've
was
thought of
agreeing.
another memory with TBU. This is actually really recent.
Oh, okay.
Go
TBU
ahead.
and Michael are playing Fortnite, and then me and Drac were also playing Fortnite, and we join them. And then me and Drac act like complete idiots, and both of them get really angry. And
These were
once in a while,
terrible. I've
we,
never
we were
seen such terrible
we're
players.
not that bad. We're not that bad. And then what was it again? I
No.
think
Hold on.
I
Your
got
excuse was,
killed.
oh, this isn't Fortnite OG. It's the same game. It's just different weapons. How stupid was that? You were terrible.
It doesn't make any sense. Like some things are just
What makes
completely
sense? It's
different.
the same game. It doesn't change anything.
Oh yeah, and then Michael joined when me and Drac were on like Snapchat voice call instead, and then Michael
He's like
joined,
dead
and he's like,
solid.
"You two
He's
sit
like,
in complete silence, and you telepathically communicate or something."
Oh dear goodness. To be fair, I always think that you like that kind of just you unionists. I know TB is not a unionist anymore, but you unionists do just communicate telepathically with one another. I've always just assumed that.
there's a common understanding.
Yeah,
Honestly, I will never forget the one time. I really should save this for like whenever we get She4 on if he ever returns. But um, one of the funniest things ever that I think I've ever done with the Unionists is when I dressed up in that Unionist mafia outfit in order to try and save my skin during a King's Speech vote. I dressed up in like the outfits that like She4, you wore it, I think as well, Harold, maybe,
right.
or
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I know
yeah,
you are.
Drac did, Michael did. Like, you all wore that, like, the black striped outfit with the shades and the gold chain. That one. I
Yep.
also wore it, trying to get your support, and it
God.
didn't work. I don't know why I thought in a million years that would gain any sympathy, but I did just sit there wearing that outfit after the King's Speech vote failed, and I was just like, oh. I was also having a massive go at Connor, I think, while that vote happened. But
Yeah.
I
Oh, God.
digress. Oh goodness. Those are the memories. Like oh god. I miss being Prime Minister. Actually no, I don't. I'm very glad
No,
I'm
you
not
don't.
Prime Minister
No,
anymore.
you don't. No, you don't. You don't miss it.
No, I really don't miss it, you're right.
You don't miss it.
God. I mean, while we're talking about memories here, I'm trying to remember. There was one voice call we've had in the past, DB. I can't remember which one it was.
We've had many.
We've had many, yeah. But there was one particular one where we had a VC at like at a ridiculous hour, and I can't remember what it was about. I don't know where I'm going with this memory.
I know what you're on about. I think it was this time about last year. It went on far too long.
Yeah. I mean, I did a very long, like 6-7 hour VC with Sparta once, Spartak Yard.
What?
If anyone remembers him, I'll be surprised. But I did like a 7 hour one where it was like 10 minutes of coalition negotiations, and then 6 hours, 15 minutes of having a piss up basically in VC.
Jesus Christ.
It was very funny. That was 2018
Imagine.
or something like that. That's 2018,
Really?
2019.
Wow.
But yeah, anyway, Harold, I'll rope you back into the discussion here. Harold, what cabinet positions did you have during TBU's governments again? Was it Treasury related ones? I cannot remember.
I can't remember either. I think was it Michael? When Michael took over, I went into the Treasury. I was in the DCMS for a lot of it when TBU was leader.
Yeah.
The whipping office, but the big one.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
DCMS and probably Treasury. Oh, I was in Northern Ireland for a bit of it as well.
Yes. Yeah. You were on Northern Ireland for a bit. Were you leader of the House at one point?
I don't think so. I was leader of the House
I
when
cannot remember.
Boston Man was BPM.
Oh yes,
right,
that
that's
brief, that period.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Michael then.
I can tell Michael's probably like just woken up from a deep sleep there at us just mentioning Boston on this broadcast.
I don't know what time it is. He's in Arizona or something. He's
He's
there.
he's in Arizona.
Yeah, he loves it there. I don't know why. I don't get the appeal. It's just desert.
Why has he gone to Arizona when it's already boiling
goes
hot
there
in this
for like a month.
country?
He has friends over there, and he goes for like July the 4th. He loves it.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to get access to America after all of the things I've said online about the United
Yeah,
States.
let me check your
Well,
phone.
do you have the bald France meme saved?
I'm gonna be real with you, Harold. I'm definitely getting detained by ICE if I ever enter
Well, they're
America.
going to search your phone.
Yeah, they're gonna find all of just all of my Roblox stuff on this phone, and a lot of porn. Let's be honest here. But anyway,
Absolutely.
Anyway.
what can you do? But anyway, Harold, a final question for you here. I guess while we've got you up here, and seeing as you've both been prime ministers here, I guess the only sensible question I can ask here is, what do you both like best about being prime minister? Both of you together here. See if it's the same.
I'll let TB go first. He's been prime minister 5 times. So
Oh, what do I like most? I
I know
like
it's a
the
very
things.
difficult question.
I like the community interaction. That's my favorite bit. When you get to go do like the events of the community, actually get out there, feel like you're actually doing something. It's like meaningful with people. I like that. Like when we did like the Westbridge races, for example, that was really good stuff. I love that. But even like stupid events like the Cenotaph, I kind of enjoy that for how ridiculous it is to host a Roblox Remembrance Day thing. That is kind of fun. I do enjoy that. Because I put on this like big winter coat, pretending I'm some big shot with a big coat. I enjoy that a lot. So yeah, that's the thing I enjoy, community engagement.
I
What
think
about you,
when
Harold?
when you're prime minister and not a cabinet minister, you watch over the rest of them. I think sometimes you probably get angry because work, but I think it's probably I can't pin it down as well as TBU. I don't know. It's probably
And you wouldn't
I
go
don't
for a
know,
short one.
honestly.
You'd have to like come back and reflect on it. I think it's it's not like something you
Hmm.
can just kind of go, oh wow, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've still got 2 more weeks of torture left, roughly.
Oh, 2 more
Yep.
weeks. There you go.
It's just about 2 weeks. I mean, campaigning starts, what, 14th, 13th, probably, around that time?
Wow,
Next
that's
month?
field
Probably,
day.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I mean, by then you'll probably have a clearer image of what you loved and what you hate. In fact, not even that you might have a clearer image, you will, trust me. It will come to you. I mean, normally I'd throw a question here, like whether I ask you if you're going to do a second term or not. But I'll save that for a professional interview and not late night radio where we're drinking alcohol. I'll probably save it for another time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Harold, we're going to let you go back to your car now and marinate in the absolute heat that is this country right now, and we'll get back to TBU because we've got a very, very special game segment coming up. So, Harold, we're
I
going to
shall
say goodbye
continue
to you.
listening. I shall continue listening.
You're going to
Goodbye. Thank
continue
you very much,
listening.
Harold.
I mean, we'll put
Absolutely.
you into the. We'll see you. At the end, probably, because TBU is going to be absolutely out of it, and he's definitely going to need a designated driver. So, thank you for coming on,
Absolutely.
Harold. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.
There we go. It's kind of weird to just bring on the Prime Minister casually as a secondary guest for a radio show. That feels a bit weird to me.
It's fine.
It's just,
It's fine.
yeah. Oh, goodness. But that does bring us now onto the game show element of tonight. Now, I hinted at it earlier that today, TBU, do you remember what the hint was?
You're going to test how Scottish I am.
I am indeed going to test how Scottish
Okay.
you are. I have asked our producer, ChatGPT, to. I've asked our producer to put together the real Scottishness quiz. We've got 15 questions for you, TBU, to test your Scottishness.
This is going to be really
and-
embarrassing if I do badly. It's like when I did badly at that MP game with Jam, but this time I cannot blame Jam for being good at the game. It's just me being bad.
Can I be absolutely honest? The first draft of this game bit was going to be a rehash of that. It's
Was
just
it?
that
Oh,
I was
God.
going to, but I couldn't think of a good way to do it. That was going to be like, I couldn't think of a good way. And also, I wanted to
tough.
bring Jam on halfway through.
No, I think I actually would have screamed at him. I really would have. My God, that man infuriates me.
It's okay, we'll do that another time. But for now, we
Oh,
have
no.
here a Scottishness quiz to actually test if you're Scottish. So we're going to
Okay.
be seeing if you are who you claim to be tonight. Now, there isn't any points here. Honestly, the fact is, if you get even any of these wrong, we're just going to assume you're English. So
Okay.
you better get these right, of course. Put your phone down, of course. Don't
Down.
Google the answers. Now, let's start with question number 1. These are multiple choice, by the way. I will read out all the choices. So here we go. Question number 1. I'm going to call this one the Mason question. What is the capital city of Scotland? Is it A, Glasgow, B, Inverness, C, Edinburgh, or D, Aberdeen?
This is tough, team. This is tough. I'm
It's a
really struggling
toughie.
with this one. I think it may be Edinburgh.
You sure you don't want to go with Mason's answer?
I think I'll go Edinburgh.
Well, you would be correct. It is indeed the city of Edinburgh. There is also just a little bit of it's put trivia for each of these, I think. But it says here that Edinburgh is the capital, home to the Scottish Parliament, and famous for its festivals and historic architecture. Do you know any of the festivals there?
Yes, the Edinburgh Festival, the big one, the big festival. The Fringe.
Oh yes, the Fringe. Yes. Oh my God, how could I
Don't go
forget?
to Edinburgh during the Fringe. It's hell. I avoid it like the plague. It's awful. It's so busy.
Fair enough. We're going to move swiftly to the second question now. It is as follows. What is the name of the Scottish national poet celebrated on January 25th? Is it A. Robert Louis Stevenson, B. Robert Burns, C. Hugh MacDiarmid, or D. Walter Scott?
What were the options again?
Robert Louis Stevenson, Robert Burns, Hugh MacDiarmid, or Walter Scott?
Okay. I think I know who it is. So I'm going to give you a bit of fact about me, Dean. I was at one point the primary seven Robert Burns West Lothian poetry champion.
Oh!
And I would be really embarrassed when I got this wrong because I was really quite good at the Scots poetry. So we used to have the competitions at school where you were given the poem, you'd have to read it out in front of the class, and the teacher would judge. Then you would go
Oh,
to
yeah.
the school final. Then if you won that, then you would go to the county championship, and then they put all the champions from all the schools in West Lothian in like one place, and they would like recite the poem. And yeah, I won. So I believe it is Robert Burns.
You would be correct. It's Robert
Oh,
Burns. That is
excellent.
Burns Night honours Robert Burns, the 18th century poet who wrote Auld Lang Syne and To a Mouse. I did not know they wrote Auld Lang Syne.
Yes, Old Lang Syne, that is by Robert Burns. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all I'm going
Oh,
to
wow.
recital it. It's
Indeed.
obviously the English version is different to the Scots version, just slightly.
Oh, okay. I did not know they were any different.
Yeah, you get our
Uh,
own funky words in.
my goodness. Well, we're going to move on to question number 3. So far, you are a Scotsman.
I am.
Number 3. Which Scottish battle in 1314 was a key victory for Robert the Bruce? Is it
Oh,
A, the Battle of Flodden, B, the Battle of Bannockburn, C, the Battle of Culloden, or D, the Battle of Stirling Bridge?
1314, I believe, is Bannockburn.
Well, you would be correct. That is the Battle of Bannockburn. Also, a very good
Way.
Sabaton song, by the way. That's the only reason I know that battle.
The reason I know it is because in primary six they had us like rehearse Bannockburn. So you would have like the English and the Scottish, and we would like face each other on each side of the classroom wall. And there's like this
Oh my
famous video
God.
as well online. This boy going, as Battle of Stirling Bridge, it's different. The guy goes, Battle of Stirling Bridge, and they all announce themselves. I'm Robert the Bruce. I'm King Edward II, or whatever. It's really funny. I love it.
That is awesome. But yes, the Battle of Bannockburn was a major win in the First War of Scottish Independence.
Yes.
And also a very good Sabaton song, as mentioned. It is one of my favourites of theirs. Right, well, this brings us to number 4, a very easy one, I hope. What is the national animal of Scotland? Is it A, red deer, B, lion, C, unicorn, or D, thistle?
It's the unicorn, Dean.
It is indeed the unicorn, a symbol of purity
Hey.
and power, adopted in the 15th century.
I do love the unicorn. It's very unique.
Yeah, an animal that doesn't exist. Very nice.
Like the Welsh put it on their flag. We at least just kept it to ourselves in the coat of arms. The
Good
Welsh are
point.
lost.
We never know. I've seen dragons in Game of Thrones, so that makes them more real, in my opinion.
No, I just want to find a reason to dislike the Welsh, so I'm going to remain to the point I just said. Not a fan of the Welsh.
Good heavens. Here we go. We've got this is a very confusing question, and I'm going to try my best to pronounce this properly. Which of these is a recognized Scots language word meaning child? A, loon, B, ween, C, bairn, D, all of the above.
I believe it's all of the above, Dean.
You would be correct. It is all of the above. All are correct depending on the region. Loon is for the northeast, ween is for the west, and bairn is lowlands. So that it's
Yes,
regional.
that's absolutely right. Wayne, Loon, and Bairn. So have you got wee children, wee Bairns or wee Waynes? Wee Waynes is like if you are in Glasgow, someone will go, get those Waynes out or whatever. Stop them Waynes doing what they're doing. They're just mad kids. Your Wayne's up to. It's a great word. I love that word.
Bloody hell. Well, this is also a very easy question as well. But in which year was the Scottish Parliament reconvened after devolution? Is it A, 1995, B, 1997, C, 1999, or D, 2001?
1991. No, sorry, 1999. Sorry. Don't know why I said
1999. 1991
Yeah.
wasn't even an option.
It wasn't an option. I don't know why I said it. It's 1999.
Yes, you are correct. It's 1999. The Scottish Parliament opened in 1999 after the 1997 referendum approved devolution. Screw you, Tony Blair. And I'm not referring to my campaigner and my campaign manager and former chief operating officer. He's a lovely guy. But
He
fuck
is, yes.
Prime Minister Tony Blair.
That's so true.
Just in case Canadian Blair is listening to this, I'm so sorry.
Canadian Blair is really fast asleep. It's okay. He's not here. It's okay.
Well, he's definitely going to find out one way or the other. Anyway, next question. What is Kaylee? Is it A, a Scottish soup, B, a Highland sport, C, a traditional dance gathering, or D, a mythological creature?
It is a dance. Kaylee is a dance.
It is indeed a dance gathering. Kayleys are social events featuring folk music and group dancing, still popular across Scotland. My
We
God.
used to have every person in Scotland will know this. Like when in primary school or even secondary school, what they used to do was if they were really bored in PE or they or like certain time of the year, they would make you do Scottish country dancing for like the Ceilidh or Burns Night Supper. So every child in Scotland has done like Burns Night Supper dancing together. And when you were in primary school, you'd have to hold hands with the girls, and that was really awkward, and no one wanted to do it. Everyone was really awkward about holding hands with the girls, like, "Ooh, no, we don't want to do that." And it was so embarrassing. It reminds me of a story because we did like this induction day up to our high school, and
Mhm.
they did like a Scottish country dancing event, and our school was the only school that refused to hold hands with any of the girls at P7, or which is like year 7 in English terms, which is really embarrassing. And they shouted at us very angrily that we didn't hold hands with them. I think I might have held hands with a couple of them. I can't remember.
Oh my goodness. That is peak year 7 attitude right there.
It's so
Um,
funny. It was.
we have the next question here, which is what does Ben Nevis mean in Gaelic? Does it mean A, snowy mountain, B, mountain of heaven, C, mountain with its head in the clouds, or D, sacred rock?
Oh fuck!
That's a difficult one.
This is very difficult. Oh no! I might get this wrong. Run me through the options again.
Right, is it? Does it mean snowy mountain, mountain
Hmm.
of heaven, mountain with its head in the clouds, or sacred rock?
Ben means mountain. I want to say it's the first one, Snowy Mountain.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
You would be incorrect, I'm afraid.
Oh no!
It's mountain with its head in the clouds,
Is it?
apparently.
No.
Yeah, it's apparently
Oh well.
Ben Nevis is often interpreted this way. It's the highest mountain in the British Isle.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Gaelic is not my strong suit. It's not the strong suit of millions in my country. So that's my
fair enough.
excuse.
Your Scotsmanship is teetering on a thread here now.
Is it? I'm embarrassed, frankly.
Now we got you'll surely know this one. What is haggis traditionally made from? Is it A, lamb mince and barley. B, pork, sausage and oats. C, sheep's heart, liver, lungs, oats and spices. Or D, cow intestines and rice.
It is the sheep's one.
C, yep, you are correct. It's a savoury pudding encased in the sheep's stomach. Iconic and surprisingly delicious is what our producer Chat GPT is saying there. But I must disagree with our producer.
Good for ChatGPT. It must love it.
Yeah. This is another easy one. I'm not even going to read the options for this one. What currency does Scotland use?
It would be the pound sterling.
You are absolutely correct. It is the pound sterling.
Excellent.
I mean, your currency is slightly different, though, isn't it? You got like different notes.
So, because of union, Scotland is treated very differently because of we were an independent kingdom, so we have certain powers and privileges that the rest of the UK doesn't have, and printing our own money is one of them. So we have 3 banks that print their own notes. I think there's the Royal Bank of Scotland, Bank of Scotland, and Clydesdale Bank. I think all print. I think there might be another one, but yeah, they print their own notes because they're entitled to do so. But then, if you try use them in England, they are not happy about it. Shopkeepers go, "Oh well, this is legal tender." Well, yes, it is. You can give it to the bank; they'll give you the money back. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a bit of a hassle.
Fair enough. We've got another one here, which is which Scottish island is famous for whiskey and has more distilleries than villages? Do you know this one, or do you want to go for the options?
I do know this one. I'll tell you why I know this one. My TBU senior works in whiskey, so I believe it is Islay or Islay.
It is indeed Islay. That's how I was going to pronounce it. But yeah, it's world renowned for its smoky, peaty whiskies, including, oh god, I definitely can't pronounce these. Laphroaig, Ardbeg, and Lagavulin.
Lagavulin and
Lagavulin. Oh, okay.
I'm very familiar with Laphroaig. I'm very familiar with that one.
Fair enough. Who led the Jacobite forces at the Battle of Culloden in 1746? Do you know the answer?
I do, because I've written a whole dissertation about him.
Oh, go on.
Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Yeah, Bonnie Prince Charlie, also known as Charles Edward Stuart. That's the man who led it. Culloden marked the end of the Jacobite Rising, a defining moment in Scottish and British history. There we go. We are racing through these now. What flower is the national emblem of Scotland? You know this one.
The thistle.
Yep, it is the thistle. Legend has it that Norse invaders stepped on thistles, alerting the Scots, hence its symbolic value, apparently.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. Take that, Vikings. Take that, Oz.
They were bastards, the Vikings, let me tell you.
Oh, goodness. Here's second to last question now. Which of the following is protected by geographical indication or GI status, whatever the hell that means? Is it Scotch whiskey, Tunnock tea cakes, Scottish tablet, or iron brew?
Wow. I'm going to say it's whiskey. I would really hope it was a Tunnock's tea cake, but no, it'll be whiskey.
It is indeed the whiskey. Scotch whiskey is internationally protected, meaning it must be distilled and matured in Scotland.
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
Yep. What percentage? Okay, are you? Oh, I wonder if you'll get this actually.
Okay.
And I have actually noticed here that it's generated the same answer twice here, so I'm going to have to make up a number for one of these. So, what percentage of Scots voted yes in the 2014 independence referendum? Is it 38%, 42%, 51.1%, or 44.7%?
I believe it is 44.7%.
You would be correct. It's 44.7%. Yep. The result was 55.3% no, 44.7% yes. So, yep. You have answered everything but one answer correctly. So, congratulations. You are a Scotsman.
Fantastic. That's great. I'll take that with pride.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we've taken our final orders now. It is coming up to closing time. Happy hour is at an end. TBU, it has been absolutely wonderful having you on. We never know, we might have you on another time for a Prime Minister special. So far, we have interviewed only Prime Ministers on this show, so we're going to end up with a PM special at some point.
Yeah, well, that would be good. I'm happy to come back. This has been great fun.
Indeed, it has. Well, you can now go join Harold, and he'll take you home, probably to the nearest tube station, and probably go on your favourite railway back up to Edinburgh. But it's been wonderful having you, TBU. Have a good rest of your, I'd say, night at this point. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you. I will.
Take care, TBU. We'll be seeing you maybe another time. Well, this brings this broadcast to an end. As mentioned, happy hour is at a close. The pub is closing. But we'll be back next week with yet another distinguished guest. And hopefully we'll have just as much fun as we've had today. If you've enjoyed this as much as I have, then please do come back. You've, of course, joined us here at the Highlander for this episode of Happy Hour. TBU is our, of course, special guest. I hope he's doing well as we've sent him into the abyss to be taken back home. I've been your presenter this evening, Dinar Heathcote. Without any further delay, I wish you all good night, and I bid you all farewell.